is great weather. We got the sun out. I brought him with me. You see him? We got sun ray. We got great weather. And it's a great opportunity for us to announce a great day in the city of Philadelphia. My name is Carlton Williams. I'm the Streets Commissioner. And I am excited to bring you the 10th annual Philly Spring Cleanup Countdown. For more than 10 years, the City of Philadelphia and concerned citizens, volunteer groups, civic organizations have dedicated their time, energy, and effort to making Philadelphia a beautiful place to live, work, and visit. And we are excited today to be able to continue that effort with the 10th annual Philly Spring Cleanup, in which we continue to fight against litter, which has become too commonplace in some of our neighborhoods and communities. And we are dedicated and passionate about stomping out litter permanently. And we want to make sure that our volunteers know that the City of Philadelphia is extremely committed to making sure that we give you the support and tools necessary to help keep our neighborhoods clean. The Philly Spring Cleanup symbolizes what the true spirit of Philadelphians are: dedicated, hardworking, committed, loving people. And we certainly want to acknowledge all of the hard work our volunteers, not just on the Philly Spring Cleanup, but every day, each and every day here in the city of Philadelphia. So let's give our volunteers a big hand. You know, Hunting Park is a beautiful, beautiful recreation facility, and it's a number of groups that have made this facility a reality. I just want to digress just for a moment to acknowledge the loss of a very dear person who worked here for years, who helped build programs here, right here in the city of Philadelphia, right here at Hunting Park. His name was Wayne Allen, and he was the founder and president of the North Philadelphia Aztecs, which is a football program and cheer program that sent 5 programs to Disney World this year. 5. In addition to other programs, this program right here was started from a few good men who over 20 years ago dedicated their time, energy, and effort to transforming which was challenged with drugs and crime and other issues, and transformed it into one of the centerpieces not only of the North Philadelphia community, but the city of Philadelphia. And so I just wanted to acknowledge Coach Wiz, his passing, and ultimately also I want to thank our first guest speaker, because many of those kids never had a chance to travel to Florida before. They never had the opportunity to attend Disney World. But without the support of our mayor, Mayor Jim Kenney, who stepped up and made sure that those kids got down there, we wanted to thank you. I wanted to personally thank you. I have 2 jobs, one as Streets Commissioner and one as the LYA President, and I certainly work closely with those community groups all day long, and I wanted to thank you, Mayor. And back to our regularly scheduled program, he's also committed to our neighborhoods, our communities. We're going to talk about zero waste, and zero starts with 1. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for our mayor, Mayor Jim Kenney.
You got to cheer up, Carlton. He tires me out, I'm telling you. Thank you very much, and thanks for being out here today. I'm glad we picked Hunting Park for this event, for this kickoff, because this represents the heart of the community and the rebirth of a community. Just with a little bit of investment of $5 million, which seems like a lot, but in the scheme of things really isn't. The improvement around the community really took off, and this has been a showcase for people to recreate, to walk, to jog, to enjoy baseball, football, all the activities that go on in here. And Carlton mentioned earlier about the Aztecs. We have the North Philadelphia Blackhawks, the Aztecs. We have teams all over Philadelphia, and that's the opportunity for our kids to have positive interaction with adults and not negative interaction with adults. Positive interaction at police athletic league programs instead of negative contact with police. We need to take care of our children. We need to have them. We need to give them things to do that are positive, and we need to give them an environment that's safe, and litter-free and secure. And I'm from South Philly, and I remember growing up in the '60s. Man, you got that Ajax out in the step with the scrubbing brush, and Saturday mornings in the nice weather, man, you didn't go out playing until you got done with your stuff on the street. So I don't know if we'll ever get back to that, but we want to try to get back to that level of involvement in our communities. Trash and litter does not fall from the sky. It falls from people's hands. It falls off the back of cars. It falls off the back of trucks. And people need to respect their communities and all of our communities. They used to tell me when I was growing up, you could be poor, but you could be clean. It doesn't mean you have to be dirty. So I think that as we treat our children and train our children to do the right thing and to give the right example, we will do a better job of keeping our neighborhoods clean and safe. Because when you clean up a place like Hunting Park, you clean up one of our rec centers or playgrounds, people tend to respect it more than when there's all short dumping and stuff going on and bad behavior going on. It just begets the bad behavior and the short dumping and stuff. So I want to thank everybody that's up here, because all volunteers, all the people that are out there that are volunteering to make our communities better. I want to thank our young people I see a number of our young people out here today who really care about our community and really want to make it a better place for them to grow up in and for their children to grow up in. So keep up the good work. We'll get this 10th annual spring cleanup going, and I'm just honored to be mayor at this particular time in our city's history, and I'm proud of every neighborhood, of every person in every neighborhood and every zip code. We all deserve respect and decency, and we all deserve to meet our potential. So let's get going and clean this stuff up. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Kenny. Someone who is also extremely passionate about our communities and our parks and recreation centers. We are certainly lucky to have her lead. A lot of the revitalization efforts that you see that happened here in Hunting Park was definitely coordinated and led by our commissioner, Catherine Ott Lavelle.
Thank you so much. It's so awesome to be here in Hunting Park. I love coming to Hunting Park because it means I don't need to read from notes. It's a very special place to me. I want to first start off by thanking our incredible mayor, Jim Kenney, who has such a vision for parks and recreation throughout the city of Philadelphia, and in his very first budget this time last year introduced a $500 million investment in parks and recreation centers and libraries across the city of Philadelphia. The largest investment in civic infrastructure in the history of our city, using Hunting Park as a model for that program, because when you invest in neighborhoods, when you invest in parks and open space and in recreation, change happens not just here, but elsewhere. Within a half-a-mile radius of this park, you all who live here saw the difference that this investment made in this park. And thanks to our mayor, we're going to be able to make that investment throughout the entire city of Philadelphia. And it's tremendously exciting, and I'm honored to work for him. I also want to thank the amazing Carlton, because Carlton Williams is the best commissioner in the city of Philadelphia, and I will never be the best because Carlton is the best, and I'm happy to see that title to him because he is extraordinary and he is passionate, and he's a great role model for the rest of us. He's done this work a long time. He does it in an incredible way. He really birthed the Philly Spring Cleanup concept, and the way that it has taken flight throughout the city of Philadelphia is nothing short of inspiring. So I just want to thank Carlton for that. When we worked here in Hunting Park, starting in around 2010, it was a rougher place, right? There was a lot of sort of bad stuff that happened here and was allowed to happen here. And as the mayor said, we did make a very large financial investment, $5 million. But I've said time and time again that it wasn't really the money that made the difference here, right? We put in new lights and we built ball fields, but there was a group of people that formed, right, called Hunting Park United, led by Leroy Chuck Fisher. And when Hunting Park United was formed, that was really the rebirth of this, right? Because it was about the community coming together and prioritizing this place as being important and a catalyst for an opportunity for other change in the neighborhood. And having this base, these boots on the ground every single day to make sure that this never falls back, right? That it continues to grow and blossom and become what it can become for this community is because of the people, right? It's because of Hunting Park United Leroy, Joanne, Michael Wilcox over here, the amazing master of our 11,000 square foot garden over there. Michael, welcome back. And Wadia and Ms. Whaley and all the amazing people who continue to be champions for Hunting Park every single day. That's really what the Philly Spring Cleanup means, right? It doesn't mean just coming out and cleaning on a nice day in April. It means becoming ambassadors for your parks and open spaces and for your streets every single day of the year. And we're just thrilled that it's happening here at Hunting Park and can't wait to see how this continues to create great things for the city of Philadelphia. So thank you so much. And thank you to the Parks and Rec team too. Woohoo! Orlando Subak, Joe Tui, Dan Schulke, etc. Greg. Thank you, everybody on the Parks and Rec team, for all your great work. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Commissioner Lavelle. And I certainly will pay you that debt for lunch for that best comment. I appreciate you. I certainly appreciate you. Thanks for all the work that you do. In December of 2016, our mayor established the Zero Waste and Litter Cabinet. And the cabinet was established for a number of reasons. A, we got to do something different, because ultimately, while the Philly Spring Cleanup is great, we have to start talking about prevention, and we got to start convincing people not to treat our city like a trash can. And so we've made a huge investment, and a lot of work has been done with several committees to try to focus on not only the cleanup of litter, but how do we start changing the mindsets of people from putting it in our parks and our recreation centers, at our schools, on our commercial corridors. Ultimately, while we are certainly appreciative of all the volunteers who commit themselves each and every day to trying to prevent litter, we certainly want to talk to the ones that are actually doing it. And it's time to us to acknowledge and start holding those accountable and start teaching our young people how important it is for us to protect our environment, for us to manage waste effectively so that we don't have unlimited number of landfills and unlimited number of resources that we can continuously throw away as trash. And so it's important that we acknowledge that. Therefore, I would like to bring up right now Mr. Nicholas Esposito. He is the director of the Zero Waste and Litter Cabinet. Nick has been doing phenomenal work organizing committees, working with community groups, where there's a lot of great things that'll be coming out past the Philly Spring Cleanup that you're going to hear about. And we're excited to be working with Nick. He's going to talk a little bit about it. Come on up, Nick. Let's tell us a little bit about what we've been doing.
Thank you, Commissioner Williams. So first I want to say thank you to Mayor Kenny for signing that executive order for the vision to get to our city to have both of those zero waste and litter. So thank you very much for that. Also thank you to Managing Director DeBardinis and Deputy Managing Director Carol. They are the chairs of the cabinet. And again, thank you to Carlton Williams. The amount of support that the Streets Department has given to this has been incredible. So when I tell people that I am the director of the Zero Waste and Litter Cabinet, two things happen. The first one is they say, what's zero waste? So zero waste is basically a vision that we are going to try to get to by 2035, and we'll have a plan on the mayor's desk by about July as a roadmap to get to a place where we are diverting from landfills as much waste as possible while also reducing it at the same time. Basically taking a view that waste is not something that you just throw out. It could also be a resource that we can put back into our system as we create new products. So that's the side of the zero waste piece of things. Now, that huge aspect that we're not going to be using landfills anymore, we're not going to be throwing that away, coupling that with litter, the second thing that people say is, are you crazy? You think that's actually going to happen? And aside from the fact that maybe I am a little crazy, the other piece is that I don't feel crazy because the amount of people that are coming on board to work on this, as Carlton said, we're putting together many different committees that are both interdepartmental, different community members coming together to do this work. But what makes me feel even better is all the people that are out here every day who go out and clean up their neighborhoods, and especially on the Philly Spring Cleanup. Great stat on the Philly Spring Cleanup that I always like to point out is that since it began, projects are going up, while the actual tonnage of waste that's being collected from the cleanups is going down. So think about that. More people out there cleaning up our city, but what they're picking up is actually going down. And not only is it going down, but they're also leaving something great in the place. It's not just cleaning it up, sweeping it into bags and throwing it away. People are planting gardens. They're creating community spaces. They're doing the things that need to get done. So as Commissioner Williams said, we can really get to this litter problem that we just don't have to keep cleaning up after people and cleaning up after people. We can leave something beautiful in its place to create the city that all of our citizens deserve and love. And as that slogan says back there, zero starts with one. It's our vision that zero waste is going to start with one community group, one cleanup, one day, one act, picking up one piece of litter to give us all the city that we deserve and the city that we love. So thank you all very much. I look forward to getting to work on this and many good things to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nick. I certainly want to acknowledge the fine, hard-working, dedicated, committed people from the Streets Department. We have our sanitation collections team here. We have our recycling crew here as well. We have our Philadelphia More Beautiful Committee here. And the person who helps lead that group is also here today with us, Deputy Commissioner Keith Warren. He's going to say a few words acknowledging the great work that we're doing together in the city of Philadelphia. Keith?
Good afternoon. As always, it's hard to follow Commissioner. He just stole my whole speech. But the 10th annual Philly Spring Cleanup, that's saying something. 10 years ago, the Commissioner came to me. He was a deputy at that time. And my team, the people just named, and he said, we need a jump start on the work we're already doing. As you all know, the PMBC and the Streets Department has had a block captain program in place for 72 years, trying to keep the neighborhoods clean. But he said, we need an idea, we need something to jumpstart the initiative. Let's come up with a day to help get the citizens inspired to clean up the city. So we did, and we came up with the Philly Spring Cleanup. It was mostly his idea, and here we are 10 years later, still participating in this event. So how does that happen? It doesn't happen in one day. The Commissioner believes in this program. We spend a lot of time throughout the year getting ready for the program, and we spend a lot of time afterwards following up, making sure that we continue to maintain the things that we clean up. But it all started with his idea 10 years ago, so I'd just like to acknowledge him and his idea for the Philly Spring Cleanup. That being said, we look forward to all of you who have registered programs coming out on April 8th to participate in the program, and make you aware of a couple other dates. On March 25th, we will be having our annual Block Captain Convention Rally kickoff at the Convention Center, headed by PMBC and Dawn Woods and her team. That's also the start of our cleaning season. So anybody out there interested in being a block captain, please see them before you leave. And for the rest of you, we look forward to seeing you out on April 8th. Thank you for coming out. Go team.
The Philly Spring Cleanup is definitely about a partnership. Government doing its part, but also the community doing it theirs. And the next couple of guests speakers who I'm going to bring up definitely exemplifies what it means to be a community partner. I would like to bring up Mr. Leroy Chuck Fisher, who from the Huntington Park United also not only played an integral role in establishing the development here at Huntington Park, but also in the community abroad. So it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Leroy Fisher.
Okay, well, thank you. My job today is to keep it really simple. We like to give thanks to the mayor, the commissioner, and our many partners that are here today supporting what we do here in Huntington Park. As a community, we've been able to take back Huntington Park from what it once was and make it different. But that difference comes because we get together and we partner. We make partnerships, we host meetings, and we come together and discuss the many problems that we may face here in this community. We can only do this with the support of the many people that you see here in the crowd and with the support of our elected and our appointed officials. On behalf of the Huntington Park community, I'd like to say thank you to all of you for the great work that you're doing and your continued support. Thank you.
In addition to community partners, keeping our neighborhoods clean is also about giving back. And there are people who sometimes grow up in neighborhoods and leave them and never come back. And they go on to fame and fortune and ultimately forget where they come from. But this next guest did not. And we are extremely happy to have him as part of the Philly Spring Cleanup. I met him last year, and he actually was organizing an event on his own and said, look, I want to do this for the city I grew up near the Hunting Park community. It means a lot to me. I played there as a kid, and I want to make sure that I do my part in making sure that this is around for future generations to come. He owns a very prestigious law firm, not only here in the city of Philadelphia, but in New York. He grew up in the city of Philadelphia, and we are extremely happy to have him today from the partner of Mills and Edwards. It's founding partner, Mr. Dante Mills.
I'm going to have my partner start off the remarks, Lyndon Edwards.
This is exciting, isn't it? This is fantastic. As everyone else did, I just want to open up by thanking the mayor, the commissioners, the staff, the workers, everybody who plans to be a part of this spring cleanup. Following behind everyone else, I have a confession to make. I'm not from Philly, I'm from Brooklyn. and I want to go on record and say that Max's cheesesteaks on Broad Street, better than Pat's and Geno's. That's right, that's right. My first ever experience in Philly was coming here when I was in college to compete in Division I wrestling tournaments. And what I learned about people from Philly was that they're tough. You're not just going to walk over them. Philadelphians have that in common with people from Brooklyn. I can tell you now that years later, what I've learned about Philadelphia from a more mature and a more compassionate lens is that Philly is just booming with talent and potential to be realized. And the people of Philadelphia have a sense of obligation to the place that they're from. I saw that last year when hundreds of people turned out right here to participate in cleaning up this community. And when I hear the word cleanup, I think about the fact that that means that our efforts and our time and our energy can be used to take the condition of something and make it better. And that's what this is about. It's about making our environment better, not just what we look at, but making our environment and our interactions with one another more beautiful. I want to introduce my partner. This is truly the city of brotherly love. And there's a show I used to watch, and you'll all know it when you hear it. It started off like this. It said, check this out. In North Philadelphia, born and raised, at the rec center is where he spent most of his days, chilling out, maxing and relaxing all cool, shooting some b-ball. You know it, you know it. I'm gonna stop there and I'm gonna pass the mic to the man who's next. He's the Mills in Mills and Edwards. He's my partner and brother in arms, Dante Mills.
Thank you. And I also agree Max's is definitely better than Pat's and Geno's. I am honored to be here. Thank everybody. Thank you, Mayor. I'm home. I was fed here. I was watered here. I grew here. I have a banner here hanging at the rec center where I played it as a child. I've been a part of this Hunting Park community for a long time. And it meant so much to me. I spent a lot of time here in this park, there in that rec center. I remember one time in particular, I chose to play basketball at that rec center instead of going out with a group of guys that I know really wasn't up to good. It turns out that on that day, that entire group of guys was arrested. It's the recreation center that saved me from that. You see, that rec provided a safe place, a safe choice for us here in this community. So to be back and to have my name, my image on the rec that gave me so much, it means the world to me. I got so much support and encouragement from this neighborhood, from this city, that Hunting Park in Philadelphia is a part of who I am for the rest of my life. I have to give back. I have to be here using my hands to work so that the next generation of people know that they have an out. Know that they can be whoever they want to be. You see, we talked about zero waste earlier. To me, zero waste means not leaving anybody behind. Zero waste means everybody matters. Everything matters. Every person in this park, every person in this neighborhood, every person in this city. We can't afford to leave behind one person who may have been born to make a difference in your life. But because we didn't cultivate them, they didn't become who you needed them to be. We don't have that luxury. We have to make sure everyone is developed. We can't have a future doctor miss out on curing cancer because we thought they had to come from a certain neighborhood. We can't have a future lawyer not be who they can be because we didn't cultivate them. We could have the next mayor or future mayor of the city of Philadelphia right here in this neighborhood, but only if we develop them. Zero waste. That's what it's all about. And not just people, but places. And that's where we come in with the spring cleaning. Because we need our next generation, our young children, to look around and know that they can grow. That there's nothing stopping them from developing. See, when you look at a clean street, you have a clean sense and a pride about yourself. And that's why it's important to be a part of this program. When you come in and say, I'm willing to get down on my hands and knees and pick up trash, it shows to them that they have people that's willing to do whatever needs to be done to make them succeed. That's why we need you guys to be a part of this. That's why we're a part of this. We're willing to pick up trash so they know that we're there for him. We need you to do the same. Last year we had an event and hundreds of people came out and the support was unbelievable. We appreciate the program and what it's doing for the city because it's not just cleaning up the streets, but it's showing people that there's people that care and they really can do whatever they want to do. So I want to thank you for coming out today. I want to thank you for showing your support. I know that the support on April 8th is going to be phenomenal. I look forward to it. Thank Carlton Williams for coming up with this idea. It's a great thing we're doing for the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mills and Mr. Edwards. Now, none of this could be made possible without the generous support of our sponsors. And so we want to certainly acknowledge all of the contributions that were made by several of our business community partners. With us today, starting us off, is Ms. Michelle Feldman from Keep Philadelphia Beautiful.
I'm going to take this down a little bit. I always make that joke. So, like Coach Chuck, my job today is simple. It's to say thank you. Say thank you to the commissioners, to the mayor, to everybody here, and to all the volunteers that we know will be out on the streets a month from now. And it's to say sign up your projects. Go to PhiladelphiaStreets.com, register, tell your friends and neighbors. You know, I've traveled the city on Philly Spring Cleanup Day for the last 4 years doing this job, and it's always amazing to me to travel from Germantown to North Philly, from South Philly to the Northeast, and to see everybody out on the streets cleaning and picking up trash together. And I think that's a testament to some of what we've seen and some of what we've heard today, which is it's really a day where Philadelphians come together. And if we can keep that spirit going throughout the cleanup season, as we always try to do, we can do amazing, amazing things. And I want to touch on one other point. We at Keep Philly Beautiful, we speak to students of all ages every single day. And the first question that we ask in any workshop is, how does it feel to be in a space that's beautiful? How does that make you feel? And how does it feel to be in a space that's not beautiful? And every student we speak to, whether they're a kindergartner or whether they're in high school, they all get it. They know what it feels like, and they know that a beautiful space means pride, and it means that their community and their government and the adults in their lives care about them. And it's, you know, one of the reasons why, again, we're so profoundly proud and thankful to be a part of this effort. So thank you all so very much.
Thanks, Michelle. And also, for the last 7 years, Dow Chemical has been providing paint for the Philly Spring Cleanup, helping us remove graffiti off of parks and recreation centers, off of fences, off of buildings. And we thank them so much for their generous support. Ms. Deb Zimmer is here today from Dow to be able to acknowledge, and we want to say thank you so much, Deb and Dow, for the work that you've done and the contributions that you've given for the Philly Spring Cleanup for so many years. Deb.
I'll be like my friend Michelle and bring the microphone down a bit. Again, I'm Debbie Zimmer, and I'm here representing the Dow Chemical Company. We have been absolutely delighted to be involved with the Philly Spring Cleanup for more than 7 years, not just in donating paint for the city and for the various projects, but we also host a whole venue of volunteers from Dow itself. Hundreds and hundreds of employees come out for this wonderful Philly day that just continues to keep expanding and going in new directions. I'm personally very delighted to be a part of this. We want to acknowledge our paint manufacturing customers who have helped us deliver nearly 10,000 gallons of paint over the course of 7 years. So again, thank you. We certainly hope we see everyone out in April for this wonderful day. And thank you to the mayor, thank you to the commissioners for allowing the Dow Chemical Company to be a part of this very special community event. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. And I just want to acknowledge other sponsors, Waste Management, Recommunity Recycling, Recycle Bank, Republic. All of those are contributors and sponsors for the Philly Spring Cleanup. We would like, and so many more, we would like to thank them. Please give a round of applause for continuing to support this effort. In addition, we certainly want to acknowledge the very many partners right here in this community: Gratz High School, Squat Smarts, Little Flower, Esperanza, who I just saw, they had to leave, the 11th and Erie Volunteer Group, Nicetown and Tioga Improvement Team, and Cynthia Barnes, Logan Civic Community Organization, the Aztecs and Indians Youth Associations, and the Linfest Center. All of those are right here in this community participating in the Philly Spring Cleanup. And as we bring this countdown to a close, I just want to acknowledge real quickly the number of people who've already signed up before we even made the announcement. We have over 200 projects already signed up in the city of Philadelphia. And this is outpacing last year's numbers, so people are really, that shows that people are so committed to making sure we make Philadelphia the best and the brightest. And I just want to thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioner. Councilwoman Sanchez could not be here today, but I want to acknowledge Ms. Kessie Lozada, who's here from her office, all committed and dedicated to making sure that we keep not only this community and every place in the city of Philadelphia clean. And so sign up for the Philly Spring Cleanup at phillyspringcleanup.com. Sign up today. Our registration goes all the way until April 8th, and on April 8th, we want to make sure that everybody comes out on a great day to clean up our beautiful city. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending the 10th annual Philly Spring Cleanup Countdown. Have a good day.